The SLA wasted no time building victory monuments all over the northeast of the country to commemorate its defeat of the LTTE and its reconquest of the land. This is the famous victory monument in the town of Puthukudiyaruppu, which lies in the northeast of the country. The monument stands mere kilometers away from where the war is said to have come to an end after the killing of the LTTE leader Prabhakaran. And it stands in the midst of the very Tamil community that suffered immeasurable violence and horrors in the last weeks of the war, and then continued to suffer humiliations for many months after the conclusion of the war. There are several such monuments all over the northern region of the country. As you drive on the infamous A9 highway, you drive past a number of such monuments that commemorate the Sri Lankan Army or are memorials to fallen soldiers or martyrs. There's a major monument at Elephant Pass that commemorates an important battle. Just a little bit south of that is a memorial to a fallen Sri Lankan Army soldier who sacrificed his life to stop an LTTE suicide bomb attack against his regiment. At times, these places feel more like spiritual pilgrimage sites than the monuments to a very carefully curated political history that they actually are. As you travel along the A9, you see something more than just the victory monuments. You also see that the Sri Lankan military built Buddhist viharas and planted bodhi trees all along this stretch. It was as if the state and the military wanted to ensure we understood that this wasn't just a military victory, but that the Sinhala culture and Buddhist faith had prevailed. And if the Sri Lankan army uses its fallen soldiers as exemplars for Sri Lankan citizens, well, so did the LTTE. A vast cult of the martyr was created during its reign in the north parts of the country. Dozens of cemeteries called Tuilum Ilam were constructed all over the region. There were possibly up to 30 such major cemeteries spread out all over the northeast of the country. And yes, you heard me right. Cemeteries for the fallen LTT fighters, the vast majority of whom were Hindu. The traditional practice of Tamil Hindus of cremating the dead was set aside in the service of the war and the construction of the idea of the Tamil nation. These cemeteries became near temples. The grounds on which they stood were considered and felt as sacred spaces. Every year, the Tamils still commemorate the foreign LTT fighters. On a day called the Mavira Nal, they commemorate the heroism and sacrifice of those who fought for the Tamil nation. Many gather on that day at sites such as this one in Kanagapuram. The Sri Lankan army tore down this cemetery, including all the other cemeteries in the region, but local residents quietly returned to this site and built a new memorial in memory of their dead. The dead may be gone and buried, but they have the unfortunate burden of becoming the carriers and purveyors of nationalist and political histories.